Welcome back to the Elder Kings, and this episode is going to be a special one, a unique episode where we're doing a time-lapse of all of these great kingdoms under Felithesmir, just to see what happens. So I'm going to leave it running for about 200 years or so, and then we'll see if any major changes have occurred. I'm really interested to see if the Elf Boy dynasty remains in control of Tamriel, because that's obviously something we've been setting up for, so hopefully, at this point, everything's in place where it'll stay strong and keep going and, you know, remain a stable empire. Besides that, I've made some minor changes, and I'm kind of interested if we can resurrect some of the older dead cultures. So this is kind of a combination of a lot of different comments and suggestions. Mainland Morrowind hopefully should flip to Chima. I've made some of the Morrowind rulers Chima culture, as you can see. So if you just take a look at some of the provinces. So this one here, Grand Mistress Fonera is Chima. If we take a look at this dude, he is Chima of House of Velothi. Mainland Vardenfell is still Dunmer. I kind of like that idea to keep this bit Dunmer. This is all hopefully going to flip to Chima. I've made a tributary out of Alanor and Pyandonia. Now, I've just decided to leave that one as it is, because I looked at the religions map of Pyandonia, and it's a mess. Like, it's all over the place. We've got some, what is that one? Cult of one of the Daedra gods. Anyway, Cult of Hermaeus Mora. We've got some Elrang. We've got some Pyandonic Ideal Masters, Auriel, Post-Orgnum Thought. Like, it's a real mess. So this is going to come out really interesting. Similarly, I haven't touched the Somerset Isles, besides just making them into a tributary. Everything else is the same. In Skyrim, if I control-click here, is now pretty much split half and half between the Snow Elves, Falmer, and over here in, what is that? That's Markarth, isn't it? In the western side of Skyrim anyway. Hopefully we're going to see some Dwemer pop up, but I'm not going to spoil that one too much. I'm kind of interested whether or not the game will just lead it by itself. I haven't spawned in any Dwemer characters or anything like that. Again, I've added some Dwemer culture here and there. We're going to see how strong it is. So, I think with everything said and done, I will, suppose I'll start the time lapse. Alright, so we're back after roughly 250 years or so. I decided we'd take us up to the 40th century here, the year 4000. And honestly, it doesn't look too different. The tributaries are still in place. We still have Vardenfell and obviously mainland Morrowind as our tributaries. Same thing goes for Alinor, although they've had this weird splinter state. We'll look at that in a second. Half of... Well, Pyrodonia has stopped being a tributary. Dwemer? Oh, we've got some real fucking strange things going on here. Okay. Half of it is actually directly under Tamriel, and half of it is independent Pyandonic under the Ideal Masters. Very weird. So they've actually stayed alive. And this weird Malma Dunmer guy? Oh, no, wait, he's Ayleid. Oh, Ayleid and Dunmer? With Malma culture? I'm so confused. Anyway, let's take a look at your main boy, Molthoril. Okay, so this is Felithisimir's grandson. Felithisimir was assassinated about 15 minutes into the timelapse. That seems about right to me. His daughter was also murdered. Not long after him, actually, only about 15 years after him. Let's have a look at the title succession. So, Elrang, obviously, ascended. Felithisimir died... What was that? About 15 years after he started. She inherited it not long after and died within, what is that, 8 years of inheriting. He's been ruling ever since, so he's actually a pretty stable and incredible ruler. Holy shit. Strong, hardy, genius, attractive, dragon blood, obviously. If we look through his treasury, good God. Wow, game, please. Okay. Okay, so he's obviously inherited just about every artifact that's gone into the ether, from vassals dying and not leaving any heirs, from obviously random courtiers dying and not leaving any heirs. Look at this. Look how much armor he's got. This is unbelievable. I mean, look, Kings, glad to see that stayed around. Still got the strongbox that Elrang stole from Akavir. That's pretty cool. Who have we got here? Baroness Lex, High Chief Uzul. I'm pretty sure these have also been inherited down from Elrang. That's really cool. How many surviving members are there? 58 living members of House Elfboy. Good God. They've been busy. Wow, that's very, very cool. So they actually haven't lost much land. Well, they've gained land, if anything. The only land they've lost is, weirdly enough... I don't know how this could have happened. This province here has somehow... So that was granted to him. Died comatose in bed. Somebody married into Alinor. I see, right. So this vassal here died. This person inherited, who married this guy here, not matrilineally, my mistake, sorry. And what that meant... Oh, no, it was a matrilineal marriage. Oh, but then her child became somehow the Queen of Alinor, which meant the title was inherited outside of the realm. Very weird. Okay. So Alinor has actually had a splinter state here, split off to the side, worshipping Elrang. These Elrang followers have somehow managed to split off from the main province. And they are a tributary of Tamriel as well. Very weird. And I assume these guys are still Oriel. So we've got this Elrang worshipping faction in Alinor. Very cool. So let's take a look at Skyrim, because this is the thing that interests me the most. Wow. It seems like the Falmer have been wiped out again. Very weird. Let's go to the cultures map and take a look. Oh, shit. Okay. So Ayleid is almost entirely now in control of Central Silver, and actually most of Skyrim as well. Very weird. Altmer still in power in Somerset Isles, and obviously the Malma in, yeah, you know, that place down there. I've completely forgotten what it's called now. Weirdly enough, the Chimer, well, you're clearly not a Chimer, you're a werewolf. The Chimer have actually completely returned in mainland Morrowind. Obviously, the Dunmer are still on Vardenfell, which is how I set it up, but the Chimer came back very, very quickly. I have absolutely no idea how that happened so fast. Dunmer, adult, Chimer culture. Maybe the actual Chimer then, probably. Here we are, Chimer. Take on the face set of the Altmer, or the Old Meric, I should say, which is kind of true to law. They were very much the same, obviously, when they left the Somerset Isles and made their exodus across to Morrowind. Very weird. Okay. Now, the thing that interests me the most is we set up a sort of dual kingdom of Skyrim, half Dwemer, half Falmer. They've almost been completely wiped out. There are a lot of Falmer provinces, obviously way more than when we started, so we've pretty much kept them alive. As for Falmer leaders, there aren't Sorry, Falmer rulers. There aren't many left around. Worshipping Elrang there. Weird. And as for Dwemer, they very much didn't come back at all. Given the amount of land I gave them, they've almost been entirely assimilated by Reachmen and Ayleid again. Maybe that's intentional, I'm not sure. But the Dwemer have almost completely died out once again. What's that? There's a few Dwemer provinces. It's nice they've got their own graphics as well. I wonder if we can find a Dwemer character, just see what they look like. You wouldn't happen to be Dwemer, would you? Ayleid? Let's go into the Find Character search all. Dwemer. Oh, here's one. So they just look like snow elves, actually. They look like, well, they just look very similar to the Falmer, just with some different, okay, of course he would be hissed, with some, what looks like different markings on their face. Tattoos and things. Very weird. Well, that's a real shame to see that the snow elves and the Dwemer once again completely died out. The Religions map mode is a mess. And you know what? I actually think Elrang has lost a lot of the land he gained. I think just Oriel was just too strong. You know, it is the original religion. I think the moral authority was too low. And the fact that Felothisamir's and Elrang's descendants didn't stay part of the religion was probably a huge part of it. The second they went back to Oriel, they'd be proselytizing in different provinces. That's very odd. What is that? That's very purple. Oh, Coat of Morlag Bell, right. It's a shame to see that Elrang didn't quite take off as much as we wanted it to, but this seems kind of right, in a way, that it would still be mostly Oriel, or at least a pretty decent, you know, maybe 40-60 split between Elrang and Oriel here. I don't think they're ever truly gonna get rid of Elrang, ever. Especially, weirdly enough, the Somerset Isles is actually probably the biggest bastion of Elrang. It's very strange. So let's actually jump in as, let's jump in as this guy. So what is that? Play 1361837. There we go. Let's just see what he's been up to. So, looking around. Okay, trying to kidnap people, Griminair. Didn't actually have any children, but I assume... Oh yeah, very weird. No children at all for this guy. In terms of religion, the moral authority, actually, of Oriel is huge. So there's no real surprise that they managed to take off as well as they did. He actually granted all the land in the Imperial City away to vassals. Very weird. And Temple of the Ancestors is under, I assume, Oriel. Yeah. Wow. I wonder if Elrang himself is still alive in, if we go right to the top. Who is she? High Queen Essica the Pilgrim? Queen of Skyrim? I wonder how that happened. So his current character's aunt somehow became... Okay, the family tree is really fucked up. Yeah, Elrang is still alive. He is still alive in, it's 697 years old. Wow. Because obviously in China they can, in the base game at least, China can have succession crises, things like that, and lose all their land. But in this, he's actually stayed pretty strong. Very weird. Okay, well... Maybe we'll jump back into the game and start a new campaign where we are now. Maybe as a different ruler. Maybe not even as House Elf Boy. This is really interesting. We could play as maybe one of the last Dwemer and try and restore Skyrim to a Dwemer power. Yokudan Empire actually stayed incredibly stable. Let's take a look at him. Loads of traits here I don't recognize. Trinum Wayfarer, follower of Ruptiga. Sure. And we haven't actually had a look at... Akavir. Now, Akavir actually seems more or less stable, cut between three different empires here. I guess that's just how it goes when you play for this long. Once you've got a stable empire, it's very hard for it to fall apart. And the Noachian dynasty, actually, from Ulcan's descendants, have stayed in full control. So this has got to be Ulcan's... where is he? Let's go back to Noachian. Let's go... Here he is, Ulcan the Tempest. This is Ulcan's great-grandchild, if I'm reading this right. So that's Gunther. Oh, Gunther the Swift was there. So that's his. Plus another 3, 4. Oh my god, this is a hell of a family tree. Another 4 greats, is that? Something like that. Anyway, really surprised to see that Ulcan's family is still in power there. It's very cool. Well, there we go. That's that. 200 years and the Elf Boy dynasty still stands with the dragon blood. on the throne with all the different Mer religions and cultures united under him. Pretty cool. Real shame about the Falmer and the Dwemer, but I suppose that's just the way things are. Maybe it's destiny for them to completely disappear. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for this particular world that we've created, let me know in the comments. If not, it will be going on hiatus from now on. Don't expect any more for a while. Like I said, to get more content for this, I'd have to put a lot of work into it, you know, mod-wise. And I'm not sure how much longer it'll last, so I'm not really sure it's worth the effort. I'd rather put that on a new series, but I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Thank you very much. See you next time.